How you doing, guys, and welcome back to another video commentary of Protoss versus Protoss. In this game it is my mate Sempx again, he seems to be sending me a lot of his videos lately, against Asterix, who is in the red Protoss in the bottom left. As you see, it's a basic opener. He is sending out an early scout to go and see what's going on at the other Protoss base. As you can see, he is putting down an early pylon. Well, I say early, but it's not particularly. But no cheese tactic this time from Sempx, which differs from his last couple of videos. Though it seems like this Protoss player will be trying to use a 2 gateway push in his base, but as you can see here, the perfect way to counter that, just send all your drones to go and take out that pylon. And that's that problem solved. As you can see, he is chasing that drone around halfway around the map, which is also a clever thing to do because most of the time they will send it back to place another pylon just like that. Actually, not really much of a problem for him at the minute. He probably will just let that build, and then he'll have to worry about it afterwards. And as you can see, he's gone straight down with all his drones to go and take out that pylon. Seeing that there's no point in keeping it there, he just takes that away back to his mineral line. Down goes the pylon, doesn't lose any drones, and just leaves the cannon where it is. Straight back to mining. Perfect way to counter the cheese tactic. As you see, he is still building lots of drones. Has a gateway up, building a second gateway and another pylon. The player on the other hand has his forge, 1 gas and 1 gateway, though he is chrono boosting out more drones so he can catch up. You see that cannon is still there. No gas yet from Sempx, meaning once that cybernetic scores up he won't be able to upgrade straight away to the warp gates, which is a disadvantage in my opinion. Basically, he's going for a forge now as well. Looking very good on the minerals, but then again they both are. Even if Asterix is ahead on the mineral count, plus he does have gas, and he's putting up 2 cannons at the entrance to his base, making it difficult for Sempx to rush him at any point soon. And another photon cannon going down, plus another pylon. Actually, he still hasn't upgraded up to warp gates yet. Hopefully that's something he'll do soon. But he is building a fair few zealots now. Another gateway gone up, now utilising both gases, whereas he is still only utilising 1. Neither one of them yet has upgraded to warp gates, though the research is started for Sempx, which is always a good sign. Now, is he just scouting or is he looking for an expansion? I would say he's probably looking to expand to that area. And you can see Asterix is making a push with 6 zealots. Don't think it'll be enough to get through the main entrance to his base, but as you can see, he just comes up against the cannon and decides screw that. So good defensive play from both teams at this point. So as you see, the expansion and a pylon goes up in this expansion base over here. A bit far away from his natural, but unexpected, I would imagine. As you can see, he's going for the Twilight Council, meaning we could see some advanced units pretty soon. And as you can see over here, mass gateways being built, so we could see a Zealot and Stalker rush going on, which means Sempx needs to be very careful about how he handles it. And as you can see, the Dark Shrine is going up, so we should see some Dark Templar going then. As you see, the warp gates are done, still mining away, looking good on gas and minerals at this moment. And you see an expansion for Asterix as well, both opting to expand away from their bases. I don't know if they're trying to do it so that it's an unexpected find, or what, but there you go. As you can see, Asterix does now know that the expansion is there, and as a pylon goes up on the edge of Asterix's base, although I think he can see that. Yes, he can see that one. If it placed it there, it would be a completely different story. But as you can see, he's warping in a couple of Zealots as Asterix's Zealot Force comes in to take out that one pylon. Trying to lead them away now, off into the range of the photon cannons of his expansion, but they're not going to fall for it and they're just going to randomly attack that. As you can see, Asterix has taken one of his gases, which will slow him down a little bit. His expansion is starting to come to life now, building a couple of photon cannons just to protect his borders. Always a good idea. Plus the stealth detection will come in handy when he starts warping in those Dark Templar. He hasn't warped in any yet, but I would assume they are on the way. He's looking very good on gas and very good on minerals, and as you can see, he's warped in 3 Dark Templar. Now this is where it could get a little messy for Asterix. He does have those photon cannons at the front of his expansion, which means they won't be able to come in through that. So let's see what he does with these. It looks like he's going to go to where he thinks the expansion is, finds there isn't one, comes up against photon cannons and pulls back. So at this moment in time, Dark Templars on their own will not get him anywhere. But as you can see, he does have an awful lot of Zealots, and he now has a few Stalkers. He's not really building any sentries, which in a combined group would be very, very good. A combined group of Zealots, Stalkers, sentries, and Dark Templars would do very, very well against his defences around his expansion. And as you can see, he does have a rather large force at his main base, which is starting to run out of minerals, but he still does look quite good for the gas and minerals at this point. He's warping in a lot more Zealots, outnumbering his Zealots by a lot now, by more than 2 to 1. Still has only 3 Dark Templar and only 8 Stalkers still. As you can see, he's moving his Stalkers in, his Zealots in, and runs into Asterix's Zealots at the same time. Goes straight in, takes out all those cannons. Should have gone for the pylons, but instead opts to go straight for the Nexus, takes down his expansion, and then just legs it after all those drones. Whether he'll catch any is another question, although he probably might want to pull back a bit now, because that many Stalkers is just not a good thing. As you see, they are now starting to focus down his Zealots. Dark Templar playing a key role here, as they can pretty much just 2-shot one of those. But does get dragged into range of those photon cannons, meaning 2 Dark Templars down, along with 3 Zealots. As you see, leaving some of his Zealots behind to just harass the long-range mineral miners. Though he will now be taken down, with only 1 Zealot left. But he has moved the ones from his main base to his expansion. We probably won't see a push here from Asterix for a bit. He's probably waiting to amass a little more. He does seem to be very Stalker heavy, 18 Stalkers compared to 9. And he will make a push on the expansion now. Will he get in is another question. As you can see, probably not. Zealot's just massing around those Stalkers with a bit of help from the photon cannons. So he backs away, back down to his expansion, which now has no Nexus, so they're all long-range mining. He has now got his natural expansion up, and Sempx now has started his natural expansion. As you can see, he is warping in a lot more Zealots, whereas one side seems to be more Zealot heavy, the other side seems to be more Stalk heavy, and at this point they seem to be fairly even. Though it doesn't seem as though Asterix was upgraded to Blink yet, which is never a clever thing. If he had Blink, he could have quite easily just overwhelmed the mass Zealot army that Sempx has. But at this moment, he doesn't have that, so no more upgrades coming from there just yet. He has the attack upgrade. Oh, he could have the attack upgrade, but he doesn't have the minerals yet. And he is lacking the Twilight Council. So he seems to be just going for a lot of warp gates to try and overwhelm Sempx, but it's just not happening. Sempx is running in and harassing his expansions, pretty much depriving him of minerals, as he has none left at his main base anymore. Seems he's got that expansion up and running again. Does have a small defense force and the 5 photon cannons. Though at this point, easily taken out as soon as those 2 pylons are down. Once they're down, there's nothing left to defend this expansion. Though it seems like, yes, that's exactly what he's going to do, straight for the pylons. Ignoring the zealots, straight at the pylons, hoping to kill off the rest of the zealots, but not going to happen, still outnumbered, and down he goes. Though all those cannons are now offline. As you can see, he still does have a large force with a carrier inbound. Though quite where his fleet beacon is, I don't know. I'm sure it's there somewhere. In fact, quite where his starport is, I don't know. But I'm sure it's here somewhere as well. And that's because I'm looking at the wrong base. And there's the starport, and there's fleet beacon. But as you can see, Sempx still has the larger army. 6 zealots, 14 stalkers against 12 stalkers, and 18 zealots plus 3 Dark Templar. Though he does have the sentries, but doesn't seem to make very good use of them, or at least he hasn't so far. And there we go, he's left the game. It seems someone gave up. Interesting game. Sempx proving that he doesn't just have to use cheese tactics to win. Now he's just going to go in and mop up the rest of the buildings to see what he had. It's always a good thing to do at the end of a game, to go and see exactly what your opponent had. Especially if it's a game that goes on this long. It does seem though that Sempx seem to favour those zealots an awful lot. Nothing wrong with that, but you do need a good mix of units. Didn't make any use of the sentries. There you go. He knows the game's over, but it deserves to see the buildings go down anyway. Which is fair enough. Fairly interesting game there from Sempx. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.